Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace, blessings, salutations to the full elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to the truth. All right, with wholehearted sincerity. And may the blessing likely be upon your houses. All right. The title and topic of this lesson, as you can more than likely allude to, due to the title of this video right here, is going to be, all right, your money and resources won't deliver you. All right, your money and resources will not, deliver you, from, the judgment that is about to fall upon Babylon. The judgment that's about to fall upon the heathen and also upon the 2/3 of our people, man. And what inspired this video is this video I seen right here. It was posted by Vice. It was actually posted about, I think, 3 years ago. Yep, 3 years ago. And in this clip, which I'm gonna play momentarily, it goes to show you, the extent that these wicked elites are going to try to hide, or escape, that judgment in that time. All right. And also too, it shows you, right, that, since they're making these missiles, not these missiles, these bunkers, right, why are they doing that? Right? Because they know that, judgment is coming. They know that World War III is coming, right? They know that these missiles are going to get shot off, into these places, man. All right. But let's play this real quick.
They situate their bunkers for the event.
For years, New Zealand has been an apocalypse escape destination for America's elite. Notable homebuyers include the tech tycoon Peter Thiel, an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump. He's also bet that America was not the place to be if things collapsed, so he arranged for a New Zealand passport just in case. Other American elites were getting similar ideas.
The rest of my hour with them was them asking me all these really
Hey, and real quick too, there's this movie that came out. It's on HBO. It's called Mountainhead. And in Mountainhead, it basically shows you an apocalyptic scenario, but from the point of view of elites, right? And they were chilling while the whole world was going to shit, man. All right. And at the latter end, not latter end, but towards the end, or towards the middle of the end of the movie, they were speaking about where they were gonna go, to basically hide off, wait it off, and again, like it was showing this clip, right? A lot of them are are getting bunkers in New Zealand, trying to get bunkers outside of Babylon, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, all the money that they may have, right, it doesn't matter where they put their bunkers at. It don't matter how deep they dig their bunkers in. They will not be able to escape, all right, the wrath of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, those bunkers are not gonna save them, man. All right. Keep in mind too, they have these things called bunker busters, which I'm gonna go into in a little bit. All right. And if they do survive, those missiles, guess what? They're gonna be the first fruits of slavery, man. But I'm gonna continue on this.
specific questions about how to water test their plans for the apocalypse.
Oh, and real quick too, just to give a little backtrack or a backstory of what's going on right now, because I played it about 2 minutes in. Basically, this guy that you see here, he was in he's basically like a consultant, pretty much. He was basically playing a role of a consultant for elites. And he's basically talking about, he was sitting down and they were asking him questions about, what's the best area, this, then, third, right? They're basically inquiring, information on how to prep, but continuing on.
For the electromagnetic pulse, or the economic downturn, or the disease or war that would necessitate them leaving their Silicon Valley ranches and retreating to these fortified bunkers in the middle of nowhere.
The government's secret plans to save itself now have competition from the secret plans of the 1%. From converted Cold War bunkers and missile silos to specially outfitted yachts, a doomsday industry caters to the mega-rich. Luxury bunkers with indoor pools, artificial sunlight, and supplies to stay sealed off from the world for years. From the Cold War till now, the most powerful people end up being the ones most afraid.
Right? Hey, and if you see how them bunkers are stocked up, right? They got swimming pools, right? They got food, they got all these different things, right? Basically, you know, like they said, right, luxury style bunkers, man. You know? And again, keep in mind, these elites, they expect for them to, you know, once all hell break loose, you know, shit pops off, it dies down, then they come back out, right? They think it's gonna be, you know, business as usual, right? Getting back, and they're still in power, but yeah, they know it's coming to, they come into a rude awakening of the reality of the matter of fact, of the fact, all right, or a fact of the matter, I should say. You know, brings in mind this scripture right here, Amos the 9th chapter, verse 2, and it reads, though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence I will command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go, matter of fact, real quick, you know, because it doesn't matter where or how these elites try to escape or hide, you know, from the judgments of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? They could go down to those bunkers. They can't hide from the Lord. They could try to, you know, go into their space, what they call them, space stations. You know, they already talk about trying to colonize other planets, which they're not gonna be able to do. All right, it doesn't matter where they go, down or low or high, right? The Lord's still gonna be able to find them, right? And at the latter end of this, right, it says, let me see, let me find it again. Right, it says, I will, and though they hide themselves on top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So even if they try to go into the depths of the sea, man, right, that serpent being what? Right, being who? Right, Leviathan, man. Okay, so even though they may try to, you know, go into their submarines, try to build cities underwater, whatever the case may be, guess what? Hey, the Lord's pet gonna come through, man. Leviathan gonna come through and jack them up, man. All right, right? So they cannot escape the Lord at all, and that's really a fearful thing when you really think about it, man. All right, that's a fearful thing for these elites, man. All right, because it doesn't matter where you go, what you do, you cannot hide or escape the judgments of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. All right, going back again to the title, right, and the topic of this lesson, right? The resources and money is not gonna deliver you, man. All right, and again, even if you do survive, you know, those missiles, guess what? You're gonna be the first fruits of slavery, man. Right? Matter of fact, let me grab this real quick because it just came to mind. Psalms 149. Right, I'm gonna start at verse 6. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, praise you the Lord, man. And that's gonna be the judgment, all right, for these wicked elites, man. Right, that's gonna be the judgment for these wicked elites that make it through, right? That destruction, man. You know, because what, they're gonna be in their bunkers, and guess what? Hey, those fishers that's gonna get turned to hunters, they're gonna come and take them. And matter of fact, I'm gonna get that too, right? Because this is gonna be a reality for your Donald Trumps, right? For all your wicked elites, man, right? For your DuPonts, your Rockefellers, all right, and so forth, man. Okay, 1 second, right? Because they gonna be put in chains, man. This is Jeremiah 16:16. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Right? So those wicked elites that survived the missiles, right, that's still in their bunkers, you know, they gonna be in their bunkers like, oh man, we made it. You know, even like, oh shit, we made it. All right, let's get back to power. You know, let's get back to being demons. But guess what? Right? The men of the Lord gonna put that power on them, man. They gonna come through those bunkers and take them out and put them in the chains, man. Right? You can't, your money and resources can't stop 144,000 men of the Lord that have spiritual powers, man. Right? Gonna have 144,000 bright burns, in other terms, you know, going through, man. All right. You can't stop that, man. Through the spirit power Yahweh Shema Shah. And that's what's about to be a reality for these people, man. All right. I'm gonna continue on this clip, man, because there was a little bit more I wanted to get on there.
And today, even as the actions of a few at the top have helped push poverty rates near their highest levels in half a century, it's the rich who fear losing control. Elite anxiety is on the rise.
The billionaires, they understand that they're playing a dangerous game, that they are running out of room to externalize the damage of the way their companies operate. Eventually, there's going to be, you know, the social unrest that leads to your undoing, which is why these same people are looking at creating bomb shelters, going to Australia or New Zealand.
What I would say is this was sort of an acceleration of the notion of what we had called gated communities, where you try to insulate yourself from the social discord that's outside. But here, it was an evacuation plan.
For the billionaires in the green room with Rushkoff, the biggest concern is protecting themselves from the unruly masses.
The question we ended up spending the majority of time on was, how do I maintain control of my security force after my money is worthless? So these guys had already secured Navy SEALs and security forces to come and guard their facilities for them. But if the US economy goes belly up, if the government's gone, if dollars are worthless, then why are those guys gonna stay and protect them?
Right? Hey, and again, goes to show you, right? The money and resources is not gonna help you at all, man. Right? Because again, like I said, the guy was saying, right, one of the main concerns is what do we do when the money isn't valuable anymore, man? Right? Because the same security that they're paying to protect them, they're gonna be like, man, what the fuck is the point, man? You know? And when you see for example, it was a series, it was an American Horror Story series, right? Called Apocalypse, I believe that was the name, where basically they were in a bunker. It was basically, you know, elites in a bunker. They had these bunkers throughout all different, you know, cities and areas throughout Babylon, throughout the world. It was just all the elites from, you know, that specific region that went into these bunkers, man. All right. And in this specific scene, right, they seen that, you know, once the basically the order or the power structure was out, you know, the people were basically revolting against who was in charge. You know, so this again could be another, you know, terrible predicament, man. Right? Because think about it like this, right? You could have these soldiers in these bunkers. They be like, man, Lord could put a spell on, like, man, you know, the money don't mean shit. Why am I here even trying to protect you? You know, let me just, you know, take over this shit, man, and get these resources, man. All right? That'll be another terrible way to go out, man. Again, showing you can't escape the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. It's gonna get you one way or another, man. All right, because even in that movie, Leave the World Behind, what the guy was like, you know, those were the old ways, man. You know, the money don't got the same value, man. You know, again, showing you that money is not gonna protect you. Okay, it's like it. This is Proverbs 11:4, and it reads, riches profit not in a day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. Right? Again, your money is not gonna deliver you, man. Right? These elites are spending billions, trillions of dollars on these bunkers, billions and trillions of dollars on these different resources to stock up these bunkers, man. But guess what? That's not gonna deliver them, man. Right? You know. And also, I was mentioning this because I'm going to this too. These are bunker busters. Okay. Right? And they in Babylon had used this on Iran, right, at a place called Fordo, right, one of their bases, their nuclear, I believe it was like a nuclear base or something like that, right? And this is actually the picture of it right here. If I can make that bigger. Not sure why it's not making it bigger. But yeah, this is it right here, right? These are the bunker busters, how they operate. Matter of fact, let me grab this because I had this too. Right, and this video basically explaining the bunker busters.
These bunker busting bombs and how it sort of like burrows into the ground, these 30,000 pound explosive devices. Can you talk more about how?
And keep in mind, right, they're 30,000 pounds, man. That's dead weight, man. So at the altitude that they're going to be getting dropped from, man, at 30,000 pounds, right, by the time it impacts, man, and all the gravity pulling it down, that 30,000 pounds going to turn into, it could double the weight value of it, 60,000 pounds. You know, because it's coming down fast.
How that would work in this sort of situation and what it specifically needs to get to in the ground.
Yeah, some people may say, well, wait a minute, the B-2 is a stealth bomber. It goes in where you...
I'm going to just put the audio off, but this is a visual representation, man. This is really what I wanted to show, right? The visual representation of how the bunker buster works, right? So, boom, it goes into the ground. Right? It basically digs into the ground and then it explodes, man. Right? Let me run that back again, right? It goes, right? Keeps digging in, and then once it hit around, you know, it penetrates or get close to that bunker, it explodes, man. All right? And that's what's getting ready to really hit a lot of these bunkers, man. And also, let me look this up real quick, man. All right, just want to look this up, like how much money has been spent, you know, on these bunkers, Salakia, you know, from 2020 to 2025, right? And here we go. We got 2021, 143 billion, 2024, 125 billion, and it says the projected for 2025 is 33 billion to 159 billion, man. Right, showing you what it says, demonstrating significant fluctuations in the market. Right, again, they're spending billions of dollars on these bunkers, man, putting them in remote countries, right? Like I said, Australia, New Zealand, you know, stocking them up and so forth, man. All right, you know, all to do what? To try to hide and escape, you know, from the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah. Again, thinking that their money, right, their riches and their resources and connections are going to be able to deliver them, man. It's going to be able to, you know, save them from the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. This is Amos, the 5th chapter, verse 18. And it reads, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it, man? All right, so the day of the Lord, hey, that's going to be a terrible day, man. Right? It's going to be a terrible day upon the planet Earth, man. A terrible day for the wicked. You know, 2/3 of our people. A terrible day for the wicked heathens. All right, a terrible day for the elites. All right, you know, because they're not going to be able to escape the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, no matter what they do. right? No matter if they go into their bunkers and spend billions of dollars on a single bunker, spend all this money on security and weaponry, all right? Whether they try to, you know, go into these space stations, whether they try to, you know, go into the sea, all right? No matter where they try to go, they will not be able to escape the judgments of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, man. All right? This is Jeremiah 23 and 24. I'm going to close out with this. Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, saith the Lord? Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith the Lord, right? So, again, you cannot hide from Yahweh Hashem El Shai, man. The Lord sees all, man. The scripture says the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than 10, I believe, no, it's like 10,000 times brighter than the sun. All right. So again, it don't matter what you do, where you try to hide, where you try to duck off in, you cannot hide or escape the judgments of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, man. The Lord's gonna get you, man. All right. And these wicked elites that truly think that they're going to be able to escape, that truly think that they're going to be able to hide, that truly believe that their money and resources is going to be able to deliver them in that time, they come into a rude awakening, man. News flash. All right. You can't escape the judgments of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, man. All right. And they know that, man. Deep down, they know that, man. Right. That's why they're panic buying bunkers, man. That's why they're spending all these resources and money on it. All right. Because they're trying their best to, man. All right. But you got the prophets on the highways and hedges, all right, on YouTube, uploading videos, uploading these lessons that's, you know, blowing these spiritual trumpets, that's telling the heathen of their judgment to come, man. All right. So again, you know, the riches and resources of these, you know, wicked elites cannot deliver them, man, no matter what. You know, judgment is going to come and get them. But hey, I'm going to wrap it up with that. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect of Israel. With that being said, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the full elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with heart sincerity. Until next time, shalom, and above all, Kwame Asherallah, shalom.